When taking your exam, you're going to come across problems of wanting to find the proper diagnosis. On the board, we've got some information from just such a case. A 26-year-old woman in her first pregnancy comes in for her exam about 30 weeks into her pregnancy. There is no family history of high blood pressure, and her pre-pregnancy blood pressures range between 115 and 120 over 70 to 75. There's also no history of seizures in the family, and all of her blood glucose levels have been normal. However, at this exam, at 30 weeks, her pregnancy blood pressures run between 150 over 90, and then a week later, it's 160 over 100. Now, high blood pressure during a pregnancy is normal, but you have to find the best diagnosis for this particular case. So wanting to make sure you get it correct, you send her home for a 24-hour urine sample gathering, and when you receive that sample back, it's tested, and she's found to have 500 milligrams of protein in her urine. As you look at this situation, you've got to decide which of these, if any of them, is the proper diagnosis. Now, when taking a test, it's always good to go through the answers and eliminate some automatically that cannot possibly be the answer. So if we look at the bottom here, we'll work our way up. E says none of the above. Well, as we look at some of the other answers, we notice that hypertension figures in some of them. And therefore, since we realize that her pregnancy blood pressure went from normal to high blood pressure, we know it can't be none of the above. There is high blood pressure present. So we'll eliminate E automatically. D is chronic essential hypertension, which has to do with a family history of hypertension existing prior to the pregnancy. Once again, we've been given information that there is no family history of high blood pressure and that her blood pressure levels prior to the pregnancy were normal. So we can eliminate D as well. Now, C says gestational hypertension. This is hypertension that develops during the pregnancy, and this is the case. She has developed hypertension during the pregnancy. But before we automatically select that as the proper answer, we need to look at the other answers and see if perhaps there's a better answer. So C is a possibility at this point. B is eclampsia, which is also not possible. We can rule it out on the fact that she has had no seizures. And one of the things that goes with eclampsia is seizures. So B is not possible. A is preeclampsia, and preeclampsia and gestational hypertension are both close, but what makes preeclampsia the correct answer is the fact that the blood pressure was climbing and the amount of protein in the urine. If she had had only 300 milligrams or less of protein in the urine, then it would have been gestational hypertension. But due to the high levels of protein and the climbing blood pressures being over 140 over 80, tells us that preeclampsia is the correct diagnosis in this case.